including my husband.
Yeah.
Carol G. Rhodes.
Thank you. All right. Well, I guess I don't have to introduce myself. But I am just a country girl who loves the Lord. I believe that everything that happens on the farm is a God lesson for someone. Some good, some not so good. Usually I begin with a Bible verse, and so this morning I took one from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Why did I choose that one? Well, a few weeks back, I had several lessons planned for Children's Moment when this happened. I was out in the yard, walked past my garden, and saw that the top, go to the next slide. Okay. So that the top of a concrete bird bath had, my chickens have an identity crisis. They think they're small. So the top of this bird bath had fallen over, upside down. Now, this is a heavy concrete bird bath, and so I'm wondering, what in the world could have flipped this over? I'll get it later. Walked on. Next day went to do something in the garden and thought, well, guess I better turn that bird bath, pick it up, put it back on. And I had been reading on some of the neighborhood apps about copperheads being out. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm going to find. I put on my garden gloves, went over, with the help of God, picked up this heavy concrete bird bath top, and there lay a chicken. Absolutely flat as a fritter. I'm going to have to bury a chicken. That was my first thought. And then its little right eye opened up and looked at me. Now, I don't know how big of a brain chickens have, but she looked hopeless. So I thought, okay, she's alive. I'm going to pick her up. She really was flat. I mean, I could hold her like this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to run to the chicken house, and I'm going to get some feed and water and bring it to her. So I brought it to her, put it down, and she just voraciously starts pecking at the food and water. And okay, my next thought is, when I let her go from feeding, she fell down again. And this wing is kind of hanging out there. That's why the wings of eagles. You can go to the next slide, Lisa. And I thought, okay, I can't put her in with the other chickens because chickens, being what they are, will peck on another chicken that's not doing okay. So I decided to go put her in the brooding room of my chicken house. And so I go over there, I put her in the brooding room, give her some food and water in a little flat thing so if she's laying down, she can peck sideways and eat. So I decide I'm going to close the trap door and go into the other side. I'll get to that story. So she's doing okay. That night we had Awana. We came home, and I asked my husband, I said, did you close the chickens? Yes. I said, well, how was the chicken? Oh, I don't know, honestly. I didn't look at her. Typical male response. It's a chicken. So I thought, okay, I'm not going out there tonight. It's dark. I'll go out there in the morning. So the next morning I went out there half expecting to find a dead chicken, and she was sitting in the window waiting to get out with the rest of the hens. So she walked around a few days with that wing kind of dangling. Okay, that was where the story ended for the kids at church. This is the rest of the story. As Paul Harvey would say, while I'm going to close the trap door to the brooding room, the two doors that meet got hung. I'm trapped in the big side of the chicken house. I'm looking around for something to jimmy the door, tear the screen, something. Well, the only out is crawling through about 6 to 8 feet of poop through a trap door that probably is about as big as one of my thighs. And of course, Albert, my husband, is gone on the tractor somewhere. He couldn't hear anyway, but I hear him coming back to the yard. God had brought him back into the yard to take out a stump. I thought, well, I can scream to the top of my lungs. He can't hear. He's not going to hear me over the tractor when the tractor shuts off. And I'm screaming, help, I'm in the chicken house. Help, come get me out. Well, he came over there, and after giving me quite a hard time about being in the chicken house, he let me out. So I was saved. I'm happy to report that my chicken and I are both doing fine. So you probably don't have a Carol Jean or an Albert to save you when you're caught somewhere, but you do have Jesus Christ, our Savior, and he will save you. So I Googled lots of verses in the Bible that have to do with hopelessness, helplessness, and found quite a few, but I'm here to tell you, every verse in that Bible points to our Savior, who will be our hope and our help for us. One of the verses I chose to end with is a psalm that was written by David. Since we're studying David, I thought it was pretty appropriate. David wrote or they can prove that he authored about 73 of the 150 psalms, which is about 50% that they can prove. Psalm 10:17 was written somewhere between David and Goliath, Jonathan's warning, and the death of Absalom. So this is it. Lord, you know the hopes of the helpless. Surely you will hear their cries and comfort them. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Good.